something that only the most experienced drivers will kind of think about. If you mess up ever so slightly, you're in that wall there, you know, so it's a really horrible one to break. Where Alonso and Renault, you know, allegedly cheated, of course. Welcome back to F1 Fridays, everybody, and this weekend is Singapore, which I remember very well. Finished second there in 2008, actually, where Alonso and Renault, you know, allegedly cheated, of course. So actually, I think I would have deserved the win there. Let me know your thoughts. And very, very cool, my raffle is coming to an end. All the proceeds are going to go to Ukrainian refugee children. So I'll be very happy if you also buy your raffle tickets now. And we have a promo code for that. It's called Double. And you have the chance to win my helmet from 2008. So it's a really cool prize because it's the first ever helmet that I've given out potentially to, of course, someone outside of my family and friends. So it's a big, big opportunity. So please go now on the raffle. You can get the link below, viprize.org. There's a link, buy your tickets with the promo code DOUBLE. And you have the chance to win my 2008 Formula One helmet, the real one. So please go and do that and good luck. And then I also won in Singapore 2016. Which is a beautiful memory. It was one of the most high pressure races I ever did because the team was thinking about trying to get Lewis back on the podium. So they stopped Lewis in a pit stop and that set off a whole chain reaction because then Raikkonen tried to cover. Lewis was fourth at the time. Raikkonen tried to cover. That gave Ricciardo behind me a huge gap to also pit, going onto the soft tire. And I was stuck out there with a super old medium tire in the lead. And Ricciardo was then chasing me down and it was like 3 seconds a lap quicker. But I got lucky and his tires kind of died down in the very end and he got to within 0.4 of a second. So one more lap and he probably would have had me. So it was a really high pressure end of the race there. But I got the win, which was crucial to getting me to that World Championship in the end there. And just before we get going, one more chance to get another giveaway. And this is the top comment competition as always. And the question this time is, what would be your favorite race car to drive in, any period, any make, in Formula One? Let me know in the comment below. And the coolest comment or the most trending comment, if you get top comment, you'll get a surprise giveaway from me. So good luck with that. And I look forward to seeing your answers. And now we're going to jump into the hot lap. Okay, that's it for the hot lap. I'm going to take you through the slow lap now. So important to start the lap, of course, well with a lot of speed. So you take it easy into the corner and accelerate earlier than usual to get a great run out here. Whoa, oh, that was close. Okay, that was cold tires. Got to keep the tires on. So first corner, very difficult here because it's easy to run out too wide. So you brake at 100, downshift to 4th gear, and then of course you can use, but you need to be careful not to get your 4 tires over the white line, of course. Then stay wide to get a good exit here. So then it's 2nd gear, and then run it all the way to the wall. I think they removed that curve there. There's a big bump there also, which you need to be careful of on the exit. So you need to upshift to third early so that you then don't have a shift right on that bump. And those are the details you have to pay attention to. Then you have to come all the way left here. You're not all the way to the wall, you're positioned here about. And then fourth gear here. Again, don't brake too late because it's really about carrying the speed into the corner. So take it easy a little bit on the entry and then carry as much speed through the corner as possible. Don't hit the inside curb, it's very important. Again, run it all the way to the wall here. Then keep it really tidy with the steering wheel to get the maximum speed here. You can hug the inside, then run to the middle and then come back to the right. And again, brake at 100. Third gear. Very difficult here on the exit. You have to be careful that it doesn't suck you out here on that curb. So stay on the inside of the curb. Then fourth gear, again, pretty to the left to brake straight. Second gear, this is quite standard, but the exit is difficult because you have to go straight away back to the right. Fourth gear to get a good run into this one. Downshift 1 to third, and then don't touch that inside curb, very important. And then run out all the way to the wall. And now again, you have to come to the left because for the braking, you have to brake straight down here, fourth gear, and then hug the inside. Don't run it out all the way, like middle of the track. Try and stay left, left, left to then third gear and get a good run into this here. Like that, good run, lift a little bit there. Again, don't nearly all the way, but again, you have to come left quickly because most important is to brake straight into here, like really straight, because here you can lose the most time because it's the slowest corner. Then second gear, hug the inside, early on the throttle, come up here. Okay, and now you're halfway through the lap. So your tires on a qualifying lap are overheating by now. So what you do here usually is move the brake balance a little bit forward to start using the fronts a bit more towards the end of the lap, which again, not so many drivers will have figured out. And also here it's quite interesting because this is the beginning now of a very tight multiple corner section. So in braking is where you also create a lot of stress on the rear tires because it's a lot of force. So crazily enough, sometimes in qualifying it can be interesting and helpful to just take it a little bit easy in this biggest braking here, because it will keep those rear temperatures down a little bit by a couple of degrees, and that will then help you in all the rest of the corners. Again, it's something that only the most experienced drivers will kind of think about, and that's something that helped me to do pole position here in 2016, and I might have been the only one to do that. Because it's very difficult to accept that, okay, I'm giving up a little bit of performance here to potentially gain a lot later. It's a very difficult thing to do in qualifying, but something that I was really thinking about, and so take it a little bit easy in the braking there. Traction you have to push anyways, but you can do an early upshift to third here for the traction, and then here a couple of degrees less on those rear tires just gives you so much more grip because it's end of the lap where the rear tires are overheating in any case. Again, go right, stay left here, brake straight, third gear, hug the inside here, and then middle of the track, because this one is a very difficult upshift early to fourth, lift a little bit, use all the track here, and then this is a horrible braking here. Now you brake at 75 and downshift to second. If you mess up ever so slightly, you're in that wall there, you know, so it's a really horrible one to brake. Again, use the track, come back as much as you can, third gear, here just a little lift, run it all the way to the wall, careful not to hit the wall there. Fourth gear, again, brake, third gear, hug the inside curb. Then depends here, sometimes you can hug it, sometimes not. I used to not hug it to keep the car settled. Use all the way to the wall up here, and then last corner now, little tap on the brake early and then carry the speed in, use the curb, stay within the white line, again use the curb, stay within the white line, and finish the lap, and that's pole position. Okay, that's it for the slow lap, and now we jump into the Q&A session. Question 1 from Nathan. We see on social media that all the drivers are training really hard for Singapore, for example, in a steam room. How physical is it to drive this track? So Singapore is the hardest track of the year because you have so many corners, no straights to relax on. It's so hot, it's really so hot and humid, and you lose 4 kilograms of body weight from sweating in those 2 hours of racing. And I really, after 20 minutes, you're like, okay, is this race over now soon? And you look at the pit wall, and from 52 laps, there's still 43 left, you know, and it's like, oh my God, it's proper torture, it's horrible. So I've seen drivers, going into the steam room with their bicycles and things like that. First of all, that's very hard in training, so you need to be careful not to destroy yourself. And secondly, I'm not sure if that's enough time for the body to get used to that, just like the 1 week now before Singapore, you know. I'm not, at my time, they were always saying that it takes longer for the body to get used to that. so there's no point in really doing that, and it's also just too tough in training because you lose so much and it takes so much time for your body to take all the cells, to take back all those electrolytes. So we avoided that at the time, and we just went over the best possible hydration, pre-qualifying, pre-race, really intracellular hydration. It was very interesting. We learned the most from weight bodybuilders because they do the opposite of what we want to do. They dehydrate as much as possible, and so if you then use the opposite process, you hydrate intracellularly as much as possible, and so that's where we learned the most, interestingly enough. So we kind of tried to master that as well, so that's the approach that we did, and obviously it worked because I won in Singapore. So but everybody does whatever they want. So question 2, Marco, do you think Nick de Vries deserves a seat in F1? Absolutely, he did such a great job in Monza. He was always a rising star, probably the best go-karting driver of all time, because we had the same boss. My boss from my go-karting days was his boss. And he's, I think, the best go-karting driver also of all time, so super talent, and that's why he deserves a seat in F1. And he has, mentally, he's like made for F1. He's very, such a great guy, mentally strong, settled, so much passion, loves teamwork, so mentally really he's perfect for F1, so I hope he gets that seat. Question 3, Ross, what do you think is the reason for Ferrari's struggle? So they got a head start because they started development on this car way before Mercedes and Red Bull last year, because Red Bull and Mercedes were still in that championship fight. And I think as a team, they're still just not where they need to be the best. We saw a lot of operational weaknesses this year. I think also in car development, they've not been as good as someone like Red Bull and someone like Mercedes also. So as a team, they still need to make progress. And I mean, especially operationally, it's been tough for them. And I think they need to do some rearrangement of personnel there, or even exchanging some personnel, because it's just nowhere near as good as a Mercedes or a Red Bull. And Red Bull is cool to see. I don't know what her name is, but it's a female doing the strategy there, and I mean, she's a rock star really. So they're doing just so much better, and I think Ferrari need to make some progress there. Question 4, Taylor, you were the last driver to win 7 races in a row. Max is now at 5 races in a row. Do you think he will beat my streak or your streak, and does a driver even think about these things? Yeah, you think about it a little bit, because more and more journalists will be asking you about that. The record is 9 from Sebastian Vettel. I'm tied, and Ascari did 7 with myself and Michael, or 8, not sure. Anyway, I'm tied with Michael Schumacher on 7. Which is cool to be right up there, with those other special F1 legends. Yeah, so maybe Max is thinking about it a little bit, but 9 from 5, I mean 9 is still a big ask, especially because his car isn't the fastest in qualifying always. So it's always such a tough ask for him to win those races and come through without mistakes. So it's going to be difficult, but with the form he's in, yeah, he can do it. So. Question 5, Leon, there are always a lot of safety cars in Singapore. How do you adapt to this? Safety car. You're very happy when the safety car comes in Singapore, actually, because it gives you a time to breathe. You can open the visor, breathe, drink, like with relaxation, drink, even though you only have 1 liter of water with electrolytes. But so you're quite happy when there is a safety car. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, with the top comment, you'll have the chance for a surprise giveaway. And please remember, go on the link below to buy raffle tickets. You can win my original Formula 1 helmet. All the proceeds go to refugee children from Ukraine. So please buy as many raffle tickets as you can, and I hope you win my helmet. And that's it from today. Enjoy the race weekend. See you next time.